Greetings gentlemen and ladies, old school Game Snob here. In today's video I'm going to show you how to use a line trace to hit a pawn that would then possess that pawn, get into the vehicle, set an animation for your character, and yeah, that's it. That's what we're going to take a look at here today, quick and easy. Alright, so here's how this looks. Start by going into your player pawn, your character pawn. And what you're going to want to do is create your line trace. It's going to look like this. Here, I'm just going to show you and you can copy what you need. This is the line trace part. So basically the E key initiates the line trace. Then I'm using my camera look position, since I'm in a first person shooter here. Camera look position to do the line trace, get world location, get forward vector, multiplication, vector plus vector. Now we have vector times float times, what is it, 10,000 here. I'm making an array to ignore myself from these line traces. Probably not absolutely necessary, but there you have it. That's which actors to ignore from a line trace if you need to add anything like that you don't want to include in your line trace. But then what you're going to get is a line trace that basically just shoots out a line trace and gives you an out hit actor. Now from the out hit actor, what you're going to want to do is grab the cast to pawn node. So that is just basically cast to pawn. Right, cast to pawn. From cast to pawn, we will be able to then get player controller and plug player controller into the target for what we want to possess. In this case, this is the little vehicle that the line trace hit. And I'm plugging the out hit actor into the cast to node, and then the cast to out as pawn gets plugged right into, there you go, right into the possess node as the pawn right there. So that basically possesses the pawn itself. That's how you get into the vehicle. That's it. That just that much right there. That's how you get into your vehicle or whatever pawn you might want to possess. All right, so just that much right there. I'll let you guys do that part. Next up, what we're going to do here is attach our player character to our pawn vehicle. In this case, you can take a look at the skeletal mesh of your vehicle, and all you're going to need to do is go ahead and add in a socket. Just go ahead and click add socket like this. I've got a socket here. I've called it seat, and my seat I've sort of positioned right here. This is basically I've adjusted. You're going to have to adjust this around and find just the right position. This actually doesn't help too much, this little preview node, because it doesn't show this sitting animation. So that's just, if you want to preview how it might look when something is attached, you can just do that. But that's not really necessary. All you need to see is that you have your socket attached, and you're going to need to position that later. This is your skeletal mesh object of your vehicle, right? So that's your skeletal mesh. Now back to our hero editor. What we're going to do first off, good idea to set the collision of your hero character, of your player character. That is the capsule component that I got right up here, capsule component. So I'm going to set the collision, which is currently on my capsule, to block all or pawn or something like that, to no collision. That way when you attach to the vehicle, there won't be an explosion of intermingling physics that send everything flying in random directions. All right, so no collision on your character. Then you're going to want to do, this seems to work well for me, attach actor to actor. The parent actor is the pawn, right? So the parent actor is our pawn right down here, our vehicle pawn that we hit. As for the target actor is just self. The target actor is just the character that you're currently possessing, so target self. You're going to want to snap to target for location. Rotation rule, I have snap to target. Scale rule I have as keep world. And weld simulated bodies is what I've got there. Next here you've got the socket name, which I have as seat. Right, and if you remember in our skeletal mesh, I just renamed this socket. I created the name here when I added the socket. I just called it seat, and that's which socket we're going to attach to. Where are we? There we go. Set actor rotation. Now I needed to adjust the seating position a little bit of my actor, my hero character, when they were attached to the seat. So I've just got it so she tilts back a little bit in her seat right now, but if you need to attach adjust any of the rotation of the actor, you can do so with the set actor rotation. And then lastly, we're going to create a Boolean variable. I can just call it driving, and we're going to set that to true. And the reason we're going to do that is if we head on over to our animation blueprint for our character, you can start out just by first casting to your hero. Mine is called hero. Yours might be like third-person character or whatever character blueprint you're using. So cast to that. Try get pawn owner. As hero, basically what I'm getting here is the Boolean variable from the hero, just to see if she's driving or not. All right. So if she's driving, I'm going to set a variable called isDriving in my animation blueprint. All right, and once I've got that set up, in the locomotion part, I've just added a new state called driving, right? So to enter this state, basically is driving true? Yes, enters into the state. To exit this state, is driving not true? Exits the driving state. So the driving animation, all I've got here is the animation sequence, which is the driving animation sequence. So basically it just looks something like this. And it's just a looping driving animation that the character is going to get into once the true-false Boolean registers as true, the driving Boolean registers as true, and that's basically all there is to it. And like I say, now basically you can line trace everything, and when you hit something that that is a pawn, you can basically possess it. So you can use this to hit different vehicles on your map. They don't need to be set up specifically. You can basically just possess whatever you hit with the line trace, which I think is a very fast and easy way to possess different things. As you can see, as soon as my character got in, she was attached. You can't really see, but her rotation is tilted 15 degrees back because I just kind of tweaked that around to find what works well for me. In terms of her positioning, you might need to adjust this socket around a little bit in your vehicle and just figure out what the right position is for your character to align once they're in their animation itself. As for the animation, the seating animation, I will leave a link to that in the description for this video in case you need to use this driving animation yourself. And that's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. By the way, I haven't quite figured out how to get the character out of the vehicle yet. But maybe I'll do a little update for that later. Actually, I kind of have, but it's janky. It doesn't work that well. What I'm doing right now, this is I don't think the right way to do it, because basically what happens here, I've got in my sci-fi buggy basically just a detach and an unpossess and stuff like that gets all actors of class and blah blah blah. It's quite convoluted, and if there's any matching class of actors, it kind of jumps to whichever one is nearby or random. It's not a good way to do it. I haven't figured out how to get the character out of the vehicle yet, so maybe I'll do an update video when I figure out how to do that. In the meantime, that's how to possess with a line trace. Hope you guys haven't found this video helpful. See you later.